So I did a Google search on tattoos over 50. And what I found, you know what, truthfully, it surprised me while it didn't surprise me. And to tell you the truth, I don't blame anybody out there, whether you're 20 and getting tattooed and worried about what you're gonna look like when you're over 50, or if you're over 50 and you want to get a new tattoo. I understand why you're like, oh my gosh, is this the right thing to do? It just amazes me, and we're going to talk about that. When I started my social media platform, I didn't realize how much I didn't fit in with the normalcy of what people think women over 50 should look like. I didn't realize how much I didn't fit in with the tattooed community. To me, I'm just me. But when I started my social media platform, I wanted to reach out to women over 50 and be like, hey, you know what? You can wear what you want. You can get tattooed. And they were like, who are you? And I'm like, oh, so you know what? I guess I don't fit in with you. So I'm gonna go hang out with the tattoo crowd. And so I'm like, hey, I'm here, tattoo mom's here. I know you've been waiting for me. And they're all like, ew, who are you? And I'm like, oh, wow. Women over 50 don't look like me. I'm way older than the tattoo crowd. And I'm like, where should I be? And then I realized, thanks to the help of my oldest son, I told him this, and I'm like, where am I? Where do I fit in with this? And he's like, well, Mom, he goes, I guess you need to make your own path. And that's what we're doing today. Today, I am going to try to lessen the gap between the women over 50 who want to get tattooed, who are tattooed, and the tattoo community and vibe who are all in their 20s. You know what? There is a middle ground, and I am here today to talk about that. So when I'm talking about a middle ground, this is what I'm talking about. If you're out there and you're in your 20s and you're like, gosh, you know what? I'm really worried about what my tattoos are going to look like when I'm older. If you type that in, what you're going to find is you're going to find a lot of stereotypical photos of people over 50 who are basically like, they're almost mocked. They're almost like, oh, look at this person, If you're in your 20s and you're thinking that this is what it's going to be like in your 50s, I can understand completely how you would be worried about what it's going to be like when you're in your 50s, because there is no real representation of a person who is heavily tattooed flourishing in their later life. And I'm like, this is just, you know what? This isn't really okay. Then on the other side, again, people who are over 50 who are like, you know what? I finally am in my comfort zone. I finally know who I am. I finally want to start my tattoo journey. And then they do a search and they see about it. What they find is complete misrepresentation of that journey. What they find is that if you start getting tattooed later on in life, let's just say in your 40s, then you apparently are having a midlife crisis, which just isn't the truth. So I'm thinking, like, if I'm out there and I want to start my tattoo journey and I'm 57, society is just basically, they're not making it very easy. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but society doesn't make very many things very easy for very many people. So I totally get it. I mean, I get why people who are younger are worried about what they're going to look like when they're older, because it's represented in a really negative way. So if you're out there and you are younger, please know, you know what? I am 57 years old. Please, please, please know that you as an individual, who you are right at this moment, how you feel about your body, how you feel about your tattoos, how you feel about your statement of individuality, you are not going to lose that with age. That does not fade. What happens is that it can flourish, it can grow. You know what? With age, to me, with age comes confidence. Age doesn't make me weak. Age makes me fierce. It makes me outspoken. It makes me want to rally and to champion for this cause. So have hope. I won't even say have hope, but have the knowledge that you're not going to lose your individuality. No matter what you're told, no matter what you're led to believe, you can keep your individuality for as long as you want it. It is your choice. If you choose to let go of that and just go with the norm of society, that's your choice. I'm telling you right now, you don't have to do that. Now, if you're out there and you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever age it is, if you want to start your tattoo journey, just start it. You know what? With our age should come our resolve of being like, you know what? I've made it this far. I'm going to do whatever I want, and I'm not going to listen to what other people tell me to do. So if you want it, get it, and that's just the thing. And if you get it, just rock it. I see more and more and more women my age with sleeves, with neck tattoos, with, I'll see them when I'm out thrifting and they'll have their full back done, and it is glorious. I love seeing this. So if there's anything out there that you're picking up from, if you Google search, tattoos over 40, and you're being told that you're going to be in a midlife crisis, you know what? Who cares? Who cares what reasoning you have? If you want it, get it. That's all I can say to that. Now, as far as I'm concerned, we are constantly bombarded with the simple fact that tattoos and age just don't go together, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. You know what? Our skin changes, yes. My entire body is changing. I am 57 years old. I am not going to stay 20, but that does not mean that I still do not appreciate me as an individual. I appreciate my 57-year-old body. My skin is changing. That is just the way it is. It's either going to change and be bare, or it's going to change and be colorful. And I choose to have colorful, older skin. That's just the way it is. It's my statement. And it's a beautiful statement. So if you're out there and you're younger and you're like, oh, what am I going to do when I'm, 60 and I have tattoos? You know what? You can be out there and you can be like, oh, what am I going to do when I'm 60 and I don't have any tattoos? It's the same thing. What does it matter if you have tattoos on your skin or not? Your skin's going to change. So just let that one go. Now, if you're over 40 and you're worried about your skin, don't worry about your skin. You know what? Be very honest with a tattoo artist that you find. If you go in and you talk to them and you want a tattoo, if this is a concern of yours, talk to your artist about it. You can be like, hey, you know what? I want a tattoo on my arm, but I live in Florida. I've had a lot of sun damage. What's your opinion? And it is my recommendation that you pick a good artist and you listen to their recommendation. They will look at your skin and they'll be like, yep, it's going to take it. I feel confident. And then you know what? Get your tattoo. If they look at you and they're like, you've had a little sun damage here. It might not take the way that you want it to. Put it in a different location if that's what you want. My dad was a farmer and he was out in the sun every single day. He had really sun damaged skin on his arm. He wanted a tattoo, a memorial tattoo for my sister on his arm. He wanted to look at it every day. The artist was like, you know what? You have really bad skin. He's like, I don't care. This is a memorial for my daughter. However it turns out is fine with me. And he got his tattoo and he loved it until the day that he passed away. So we put too much emphasis on the aesthetics of like, it has to look perfect forever. No, it doesn't. It has to mean something to you. You know what? If you love it, That's all that matters. So I don't know if you can tell or not, but I'm very passionate about this subject. It is the biggest honor to be able to be that person trying to close that gap. My entire social media platform is based on closing the gap between people in their 20s with their individuality and people in their 50s with their individuality. There shouldn't be that huge gap, because you know what? Again, we are the same people. We're just a little bit older on this end. And if you're on this end, you don't have to lose your individuality of who you were when you were in your 20s. It is okay to be right in the middle like me and just continue with your journey of self-expression. So that's it. That's today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really hope I was able to reach out to you. If you're in your 20s, don't worry about it. You're gonna love your tattoos when you're in your 50s. That's just the way it is. If you're in your 50s and you wanna start that journey, I hope I am the one who gave you that final push to go ahead and do it. And if you enjoyed today's episode, by all means, please hit that like button. If you like, stick around, see what I'm gonna talk about next, you can hit subscribe. I would love to hear any of your comments about today's episode. And if you have any recommendations for other episodes, I'd love to hear that also. So until next time, please remember, get that tattoo, don't worry about it, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye. Final thought. You know, my parents were 82 and 83 when they got their first tattoos. Unfortunately, my sister passed away back in 2006, and it hurt them so much that they wanted to memorialize her on their skin. That was their way of always keeping her close to them. And you know what? My dad got his tattoo first on his own. I went to my mom's tattoo appointment, and I sat there with her while she got her tattoo. It was really beautiful, and she loved that tattoo until the day that she passed away. Do not let age stop you from tattooing. If you're in your 80s and you want it, get it. I am so glad that my parents started that journey. It really made a big difference to them. It's a story that I will always keep close to my heart. And I actually, the tattoo that my mom got for my sister, my niece had the stencil. I borrowed it and I recreated the tattoo that my mom got for my sister on her arm. I now carry on my leg, and it helps me in my journey of losing those who I love. So that's my final thought.